I don't really multitask very well. Actually, I don't think anybody really does. It's just a matter of human psychology. There are, however, phone companies and tablet companies and computer companies that are designing products with this promise that if you buy it, you will become a great multitasker and become superhuman. I don't really think that it's true, and I think a lot of people are discovering that. I have discovered it for myself. I've been a computer user, obviously, all my life, and I've discovered these things really conflict with the way that God made me. And so I've been trying to find ways to just do one thing at a time. And with Sanctus, the institute that we have, there actually are a number of things that we're trying to do, and that's really normal to human life, that we have different projects going on. But I've been trying to do each of them well, which means not trying to do them all at the same time. And one of the manifestations of that in 2023 has been that I've been trying to do less videos, but do better and bigger videos. And one of these bigger videos I'm very excited to share with you all is a documentary about a retreat in Europe, which I had the privilege of hosting last fall with my friend Vida Cavido. And I just want to give you a little snippet of that documentary, which hopefully will come out here in the spring, and you'll be able to see what it actually is like to try to put on one of these things and do some good. I think for Sanctus as an institute, we have to look for a different goal than just being a retreat producing entity.
So why this retreat?
Well, I mean, Vida talked me into it, sort of. You. I let myself be talked into it. But it's time for Sanctus as an institution, a very embryonic institution. It's time to not be so scattered and to try a little bit of gathering. And because it's like other things happen when you're gathered than when you're scattered. Well, finding ways to gather is one of the things that I really want to do more of in 2023. And I am really excited for this retreat documentary to come out. I think that something really special happened at this retreat, and I hope that the video actually is able to capture that and inspire other people to go for similar sorts of things. Now, it also means that I want to do less Dallas Willard stuff on this channel, which I hope isn't a big problem. The thing is that Dallas Willard is great, and it's easy for me to do videos about him because I've spent so much time studying him. However, my friends here in Europe, the people that I work with, see in churches, they just don't know who he is. And while it sounds great to be the person who introduces them to him, ultimately I want to introduce people to Jesus and help them live a Jesus lifestyle. And if Dallas Willard is kind of blocking me from being able to talk with my European friends and family, then I'm going to switch. Positively, I'd like to continue to talk about theology and culture, which Dallas Willard has been a great opportunity for me to do. And at the same time, I'd also like to talk more about lifestyle. Now, there's this website you may know about. I've mentioned it on this channel before, Conversatio Divina, which is actually bigger than just a website, but their website, conversatio.org, is one that I helped to design and, well, not design as the designer, but to sort of set up in terms of its structure. I also gave it its name because I was impressed with this old Latin word, conversatio. It doesn't exactly translate to conversation, which is interesting. It translates to way of life, and it's actually a biblical word too, which means that there's a Greek equivalent. And it refers to, the way people are living. It's actually a very general, universal idea that you can look at people all over the world and you can kind of say, well, how are they living? What's their way of living? What is their conversatio? And I think goes without saying that people who follow Christ also have a conversatio. Although that conversatio, that way of life, may not do justice to their belief about who Jesus is and what the world is about and what their life is about. Now, conversatio covers things like spirituality, spiritual practices, spiritual thinking, but it also covers a lot more, and I think that's why I like this idea of lifestyle. It covers things like sleep and anxiety and how we can manage all these mundane elements of being human, together with other things like reading the Bible or prayer. Now, I would love to know what sorts of topics would you like me to cover if I do more videos on lifestyle? What sorts of things are you struggling with? What sorts of things do you want to get better at? Where do you think the hindrances are in your life? Or where do you think the open doors are? Maybe you have some sort of tip or whatever, some sort of lifestyle that really has changed things for you. So, hey, if you can write those things in the comments, send an email at info@sanctus.institute, then we'll be able to look at those and see if we get some good ideas for this year. Now, why am I so interested in lifestyle? Well, lifestyle tweaks can really go a long way. I think often we are trying to just manage all of the good recommendations that come into our lives within this framework that we currently have for our life. And what we need to do very often is tweak that framework, change how we are living in order that those good recommendations, that wisdom that comes into us can actually have an effect on who we are. And retreats can be a great way to sort of deal with lifestyle things, because in retreats you really do break that framework that you normally are living in, and you adopt for a certain amount of time a different framework. But retreats can also in a sense just be an escape from the way that we've been living and really have very little effect on what we do day to day and what we have to do. And a second thing is that European or German lifestyle can really be quite difficult. That is the standard way in which we are taught to live here in Germany, that's where I live, or in Europe, can be something very different from the easy yoke of Jesus. And so I want to explore what it would mean for Jesus or people who are following Jesus to live in that easy yoke within this context, because just certain things just don't jive well with who we were created to be as human beings. And then finally, a third thing, I forgot what it was. A lot of lifestyle gurus out there, and there really are lots of them. They're writing books, they're on social media, they're on TV, they're in magazines. You can find them in all sorts of ways, and you probably have contact with a number of them already. They might even be living persons. But a lot of these lifestyle gurus out there are just fools. I mean, they're following idols of various kinds, money or tech or sort of an idolatry of the body. And they really don't have any sense of the teaching of Jesus. If you know that biblical phrase, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. They don't have any of that about them. And so their wisdom is very, very limited. They're just fools is the biblical way of putting it. It's really just the human way of putting it. So join me this year as I explore living well with God in Europe or wherever it is that you live. Hopefully that's relevant. And if it's not, then I'm sure there's other videos that you could be watching now. I'm going to be trying to do less in 2023, less things, but try to do them better with more intensity, such as this retreat documentary. So you may be seeing less videos from me. In fact, I would count on it, but hopefully the ones that we put out will be better. So, bye.